Sienna God, hello all. Oshta Sahia, good evening, and Wado, thank you for watching. So this is day 8 of reading Many Lives, Many Masters, the timeless classic, the true story of a prominent psychiatrist, his young patient, and the past life therapy that changed both their lives, by Brian L. Weiss, MD. It is on, and I'm going to read the last 2 sentences. That way you can kind of refresh your brain, your mind, whatever. So it says here, when she spoke, her voice was deep. A master was present. It is on this plane that some souls are allowed to manifest themselves to the people who are still in physical form. They are allowed to come back, only if they have left some agreement unfulfilled. On this plane, intercommunication is allowed, but the other planes, this is where you're allowed to use your psychic abilities and communicate with people in physical form. There are many ways to do this. Some are allowed the power of sight and can show themselves to the people still in physical form. Others have the power of movement and are allowed to telepathically move objects. You only go to this plane if it is useful for you to go there. If you have left an agreement that has not been fulfilled, you may choose to go here and communicate in some way, but that is all, to which the agreement must be fulfilled. If your life had been abruptly ended, this would be a reason for you to go to this plane. Many people choose to come here because they are allowed to see those who are still in physical form and very close to them. But not everyone chooses to have communication with these. To some people, it may be too frightening. Catherine fell silent and seemed to be resting. She began to whisper very softly. I see the light. Does the light give you energy? I asked. It's like starting over. It's a rebirth. How can people in physical form feel this energy? How can they tap into it and be recharged? By their minds, she answered softly. But how do they reach this state? They must be in a very relaxed state. You can renew through light. You must be very relaxed, so you no longer are expending energy, but you are renewing yours. When you sleep, you get renewed. She was in her superconscious state, and I decided to expand the question. How many times have you been reborn? I asked. Have they all been here in this environment, the earth, or elsewhere as well? No, she answered, not all here. What other planes, what other places do you go to? I have not finished what I have to do here. I cannot move on until I have experienced all of life, and I have not. There will be many lifetimes to fulfill all of the agreements and all of the debts that are owed. But you are making progress, I observed. We always make progress. How many times have you been through lifetimes on the earth? 86. 86? Yes. Do you remember them all? I will, when it is important for me to remember them. End quote. We had experienced either fragments or major portions of 10 or 12 lives, and lately these had been repeating. Apparently, she had no need to remember the remaining 75 or so lifetimes. She had indeed made remarkable progress, at least in my terms. What progress she made from this point, might not depend on the recollection of lifetimes. Her future progress might not even depend on me or my help. She began to whisper softly again. Some people touch the astral plane by using drugs, but they do not understand what they have experienced, but they have been allowed to cross over. I had not asked her about drugs. She was teaching, sharing knowledge, whether I asked specifically or not. Can't you use your psychic powers to help you progress here? I asked. You seem to be developing these more and more. Yes, she agreed. It is important, but not so important here as it will be in other places. That is part of evolution and growth. Important to me and to you? Important to all of us, she replied. How do we develop these faculties? You develop through relationships. There are some with higher powers who have come back with more knowledge. They will seek out those who need the development and help them. She lapsed into a long silence. Leaving her superconscious state, she entered into another lifetime. You know, not sure if you've been, I don't know, present or whatever, like had the wherewithal to understand in the moment that people literally come into your life like right when they need to. And it seems like it's out of the blue, but it has been planned. You know what I mean? And it's like perfect, because then you get the guidance or the knowledge that you were like, all of a sudden somebody may give you a book or somebody may mention a book, or somebody may mention someone else that leads you to this path where then you experience all this growth, and then you can help yourself, right? Or somebody has given you a hand up, not a hand out, and it was at the perfectly timed moment, right? It was when you were ready to receive it, so that you used it as a hand up and you didn't blow it like a hand out, like most people stereotypically blow a hand out, right? Anyway, it's all intertwined, it's all connected. And then the thing that I was thinking about as I was reading was, and I probably got too far away from it and I should just stop myself and said it right then, but oh yes, here it is. To some people it may be too frightening. So if you're sitting around wondering why in the world you haven't received any signs from loved ones, you probably already know the answer to that. Like, I'm ready, I'm so ready. They know you're not, right? My daughter, oh God, she was little when my grandfather died. The only grandfather I ever knew, and he was a step-grandfather. It was my dad's stepdad. And I'm going to tell you, that guy was the freaking kindest. I mean, I swear to you, he has lived like so many lives, because he's just like a super old soul and super nice. I did not know him in his younger years, like, so I don't know if that was just the fruit of a ton of growth that he had in this particular lifetime and carried on from other lifetimes, whatever. But I'm going to tell you, the freaking kindest, the sweetest. I mean, you couldn't, like, you know, you're not gonna, it's like the energy was so good, you would never ever think about like acting out as a kid around him or like anything, you know what I mean? It was just like, he was just like that. It was great. You seek him out wherever you're at. And so anyway, he gave my daughter like one of the best memories she has of him is every time we went over to their house, he would pull out like a popsicle or something, right? And like let her choose. And anyway, when he died, he was visiting her, and she was having these nightmares. He didn't know, I don't guess, that it was going to give her that, but I told her, I was like, you've got to tell him to stop. And she'd just wake up screaming because she missed him so much. She was seeing him in her dreams, and it was scaring her. And then she'd be crying. She would cry because she wanted him to be here, right? Then she became fearful of going to sleep. And this was like for nap time or just regular time. So this happened over the course of like 2 or 3 days. And I was like, Daddy, you've got to tell Grandpa to stop, right? And she called him Pop because that's what he wanted to be called by the kids. And I don't know if he said anything or not. I can't remember. I feel like he told me that he did or whatever. And I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and interject also. And I was like, Grandpa, we love you and we miss you terribly. We wish you were here. And she's very, very intuitive, okay? She doesn't know what to do with it. And she's seeing you super clear. You're coming through loud and clear, but you're scaring her, okay? And I know that you would never intend to scare her. So just stop the visits for now, and then later come through with like maybe smells or something. And then if she reaches out to you and says it's okay, you can visit her in her dreams, right? Well, he quit. And I tested it because I was like, holy cannoli, like, don't stop coming to me. You can come to me. Like, I'm cool with it, right? Are you there, right? Because he quit altogether. And then all of a sudden one day I came down the stairs, turned the corner, boom, I was hit with his smell, right? And it was like, I don't know how to explain it. I know it's him every time, and I just feel his energy. And like when I would give him a hug, he smelled like, I don't know, it wasn't your typical old man smell. It was like there was a sweetness about it. I have no idea. I've never smelled it before, and I've never smelled it since, like in real life, you know, in our physical life. But yeah, he comes through real strong with the smells, and I'm like, hey, Grandpa, you know. It's just really cool. I mean, it's really, really cool. But you have to be ready for what you're asking for. So anyway, let me find my spot right quick. Got a little long-winded there, but hopefully it helps you, because I know it has helped a lot of other people that I've told. But anyway, I see the ocean. I see a house near the ocean. It's white. The ships come and go from the port. I can smell the seawater. Are you there? Yes. What is the house like? It is small. It has some type of tower on the top. A window where you might look out onto the sea. It has some type of telescope. It's brass, wood and brass. Do you use this telescope? Yes, to look for the ships. What do you do? We report the merchant vessels when they come into port. I remembered she had done this in another past lifetime when she was Christian, the sailor whose hand was wounded during a naval battle. Are you a sailor? I asked, looking for confirmation. I don't know. Maybe. Can you see what you're wearing? Yes, some type of white shirt and brown short pants and shoes with big buckles. I am a sailor later in my life, but not now. She could see into her future, but the act of doing so caused her to jump ahead to that future. I'm hurt, she winced. Writhing in agony, my hand is hurt. She was indeed Christian, and she was again reliving the sea battle. Was there an explosion? Yes, I smell gunpowder. You will be all right, I reassured her, already knowing the outcome. Many people are dying. She was still agitated. The sails are torn. Part of the port side has been blown away. She was scanning the ship for damage. We must repair the sails. They must be repaired. Do you recover? I asked. Yes, it is very difficult to stitch the fabric on the sails. Are you able to work with your hand? No, but I am watching others. Sails. They're made of canvas, some type of canvas, very hard to stitch. I can attest to that. It's very hard. Many people are dead. They have much pain. She winced. What is it? This pain in my hand. Your hand heals. Go ahead in time. Do you sail again? Yes, she paused. We are in South Wales. We must defend the coastline. Who is attacking you? I believe they are Spanish. They have a large fleet. What happens next? I just see the ship. I see the port. There are shops. In some of the shops, they make candles. There are shops where, they buy books. Yes. Do you ever go in the bookshops? Yes, I like them very much. The books are wonderful. I see many books. The red one is with history. They are written about towns, the land, there are maps. I like this book. There's a shop where they have hats. Is there a place where you drink? I remembered Christian's description of the ale. Yes, there are many, she responded. They serve ale, very dark ale, with some type of meat. Some mutton and bread, very large bread. The ale is very bitter, very bitter. I can taste it. They have wine too, and long wooden tables. I decided to call her by name to see her responses. Christian, I called empathetically. She answered loudly without hesitation. Yes, what do you want? Where is your family, Christian? They're in an adjacent town. We sail from this port. Who is in your family? I have a sister Mary. Where is your girlfriend? I don't have one. Just the women in the town. Nobody special? No, just the women. I return to sailing. I fight in many battles, but I am safe. You grow old. Yes. Do you ever marry? I believe so. I see a ring. Do you have children? Yes. My son will also sail. There's a ring with a hand. It's a hand holding something. I can't see what. The ring is a hand. It's a hand clasping something. Catherine began to gag. What's wrong? The people on the ship are sick. It's from the food. We've eaten some food that is bad. It's salt pork. Her gagging continued. I took her ahead in time, and the gagging ceased. I decided not to progress her through Christian's heart attack again. She was already exhausted, and so I brought her out of the trance. Chapter 14. 3 weeks passed before we met again. My brief illness and her vacation had caused the delay. Catherine continued to prosper during this period, but when we began this session, she seemed anxious. She announced that she was doing so well and feeling so much better that she did not feel hypnosis could help her any more than it already did. She was right, of course. Under ordinary circumstances, we might have begun terminating therapy weeks ago. We had continued in part because of my interest in the messages from the masters and because some minor problems still persisted in Catherine's present-day life. Catherine was nearly cured, and the lifetimes were repeating. But what if the masters had more to tell me? How could we communicate without Catherine? I knew she would continue our sessions if I insisted, but I did not feel right about insisting. With some sadness, I agreed with her. We chatted about the events of the past weeks, but many but my heart was not in it. 5 months drifted by. Catherine maintained her clinical improvement. Her fears and anxieties were minimal. The quality of her life and her relationships was dramatically uplifted. She was dating other men now, although Stuart was still in the picture. For the first time since she was a young child, she felt felt some joy and real happiness in her life. Occasionally, we would pass each other in the hallway or in the cafeteria line, but we had no formal doctor-patient contact. Winter passed and spring began. Catherine scheduled an appointment in the office. She had been having a recurring dream about a religious sacrifice of some sort that involved snakes in a pit. People, including herself, were being forced into the pit. She was in the pit, trying to climb out by digging her hands into the sandy walls. The snakes were just below her. At that point in the dream, she would awaken, her heart pounding wildly. Despite the long hiatus, she fell quickly into a deep hypnotic state. Not surprisingly, she was instantly back in an ancient lifetime. "It is very hot where I am," she began. "I see 2 black men standing near stone walls that are cold and damp. They have headpieces on. There's a rope around their right ankles. The rope is braided with beads and tassels coming off it. They are making a storage house out of stone and clay, putting wheat in it, some type of crushed grain. The grain is brought in a cart with iron wheels. Woven mats are on the cart or part of it." Okay, I had to tell my son something, so I kind of lost my spot, so I think I'm going to read this sentence again. They are making a storage house out of stone and clay, putting wheat in it, some type of crushed grain. The grain is brought in a cart with iron wheels. Woven mats are on the cart or part of it. I see water, very blue. Someone in charge is giving the orders to the others. There are 3 steps down into the granary. There is a statue of a god on the outside. He has the head of an animal, a bird, and the body of a man. He is a god of the seasons. The walls are sealed with some sort of tar to prevent air from coming in and to keep the grain fresh. My face is itching. I see blue beads in my hair, There are bugs or flies around making my face and hands itch. I put something sticky on my face to keep them away. It smells terrible, the sap from some tree. I have braids in my hair and beads in the braids. With gold strings, my hair is dark black. I am part of the royal household. I am there because of some feast. I have come to watch an anointing of priests, a festivity to the gods for the coming harvest. There are only animal sacrifices, no humans. Blood from sacrificed animals runs from a white stand into a basin. It runs into the mouth of a serpent. The men wear small gold hats. Everyone is dark-skinned. We have slaves from other lands, from across the sea. She fell silent, and we were waiting. As if the months had never passed, she seemed to become vigilant, listening to something. All is so fast and complicated. What they are telling me about change and growth in different planes. There's a plane of awareness and a plane of transition. We come from one life, and if the lessons are completed, we move on to another dimension, another life. We must understand fully. If we do not, we are not allowed to pass on. We must repeat because we do not learn. We must experience from all sides. We must know the side of wanting, but also to give. There is so much to know, so many spirits involved. That is why we are here. The masters are just one on this plane. Catherine paused and spoke with the voice of the poet master. He was speaking to me. What we tell you is for now. You must now learn through your own intuition. After a few minutes, Catherine spoke in her soft whisper. There's a black fence within our tombstones. Yours is there. Mine? I asked, surprised at this vision. Yes. Can you read the inscription? The name is Noble, 1668 to 1724. There is a flower on it. It is in France or Russia. You are in a red uniform, thrown from a horse. There is a gold ring with a lion's head used as an insignia. There was no more. I interpreted the poet master's statement to mean there would be no more revelations through Catherine's hypnosis, and this was indeed the case. We were to have no further sessions. Her cure had been complete, and I had learned all that I could through the regressions. The rest, what lay in the future, I had to learn through my own intuition. Don't go hang, you in a good chance. Love you, minute.